starting this beautiful discussion, I must tell that I'm fond of writing, especially writing slogans in my life, based on my life experiences. So one of those slogans which I wrote a few days back, that was, the only ship that can drive an idea to an IPO. That is, what do we call that? What do we call that ship? Entrepreneurship. Very good. So along with me today, there are three big ships of this entrepreneurial ecosystem. One of which is Mr. Dr. Vishal Gandhi, CEO and founder of BIORx. Mr. Vishal Kedia, the founder of DevelopTech IT Solutions, and Mr. Jaswinder Singh, again the CEO and founder of Tech-Prastish Solutions. So welcome on board. Thank you so very much once again. Starting this discussion, I would like to introduce yourself, please, with your small journeys of life. Starting from Mr. Vishal Gandhi, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Punjab Angel, for hosting us today. It's a wonderful experience. It's probably my third or fourth visit to actually see what Punjab Angel is doing, and it's amazing to see. And since I come from Punjab, so I feel very proud what actually Punjab is able to do in the angel investing space. You know, I think the whole country is still grappling to understand the nuances of angel investing, and whereas what we see in Punjab is really taking a stride there. Coming to me, my brief introduction, I'm a 3-time entrepreneur, worked with Dabur, floated a molecular diagnostic company called OnQuest, which is now 500 crore brand. Then worked with Ranbaxy, floated one of the first genomics venture for the country in 2002. And then of course gave up the research career and wanted to do something in management. Picked up MBA and then got recruited by Yes Bank. So in Yes Bank, I funded a lot of hospitals. So most of the corporatization happened in the hospitals from 2006 to 2012. Very, very proud to say that most of the hospitals which got funded, somewhere, I played an important role, and one of my marquee transactions was working with Dr. Trehan. And 2012, I realized that, the healthcare people don't understand finance, and the finance people don't understand healthcare, but yet they want to marry. So this is how, I started a venture called BIORx Venture Advisors, which is technically like an investment banking firm. We've been helping companies, investors to sort of, marry and work together to scale. But in 2020, during the pandemic, we also realized that a lot of innovative ideas which were not really otherwise very, very valid ideas, but in pandemic time it became very valid. And we realized that we must fund such startups because, we created a syndicate which is called Indian Healthcare Angels, because healthcare being a very, very technical subject, not many people actually can invest and understand the nuances of investing. So having owned my experience, I felt that this is something which we must give back to the society. So, we have about 30 plus angels, who understand, who have given scaling up ventures, and we think that, that's our moat. Our moat is not just about funding, but our moat is to be able to give strategic capital, which I will be talking about. I think Amit will be asking me, and I will be sharing that. So this is my brief introduction. I have really worked on innovation and how to create innovation to the market, and then of course from a market to impact. And I think this is what I feel. I'm very, very proud to say that very few people who have contributed to the innovation ecosystem, so much that my PhD has been in the area of, in fact, evaluation of technology business incubator. So this is my brief contribution to the startup ecosystem, and I continue to work on that, and I feel very privileged to be able to contribute to startup ecosystem. So thank you, Amit, for the opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. Vishal. And I must say again, this is appreciable that Mr. Vishal is having so big giants in his bouquet of executions. Thank you so much. And over to Mr. Jaswinder Singh.
Thank you so much. I'm really glad to see all of you here, and thank you so much, Dan. It's really providing a very good platform to everyone, that where we can learn. Even I'm in the industry for over 16 years. I think there are so many things that we can learn from each other. So as Mr. Amit told that it's entrepreneurship. I believe we are still in boat. There is a lot to learn. There is a lot to grow. So we, whenever we discuss about any idea and we listen any idea, actually we do it for ourselves. Like for me, it's all about the learning, that what we are getting from the society, and in the same way we try to return it. So I am into, as myself, I'm Jaswinder. I founded the venture Tech-Prastish in 2008, and we have served over in 28 countries for 9 industries. Recently, our product Ali Pro we developed for an American client. So it's serving very well. It's approximate. We are generating more than 2 million invoices, and because of this product, around more than 1,000 trucks are running over the US, and we are collecting garbage in the trucks from around 2 million houses. So this is a venture that we started with a client, and it's working well, and we are happy with it. And now I think we need to invest more in local ecosystem. So this is what I am trying to do at this time. I'm into early investor stage. So I'm learning. There is big change, and I believe I have a lot to learn. And definitely we have first step that we can follow.
Thank you, Jaswinder. You are doing appreciable work for the startup ecosystem. Over to Vishal Kedia.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Vishal Kedia. So I started my business in 2013, but there was an interesting story behind it. So I was a tutor. So I used to provide training to the engineering students. So one day I was sitting with my colleague, and we are just discussing our future plans. So I told him that I want to start my own company, but after getting experience of at least 2 years. So we were drunk actually. So he said कि अगर काम करना है, अगर तेरे को बनना है एंटरप्रेन्योर, तो तेरे को अभी से बनना है, not after 2 years. So वही एक आइडिया था जो मेरे क्लिक हुआ, और मैंने उसका और अपना दोनों का रिजाइन में एक्सटेंड दिलवा दिया. And we started our own institutes. We scaled them up to 200, 300 students. And after that मेरे को लगा कि नहीं, अभी ट्रेनिंग इंस्टीट्यूट जो है एक लेवल पे पहुंच चुका है. We have to do something else. So we started an IT company. IT company को मैंने scale किया around 100 employees with at least 1 crore revenue. Then I met a guy. He's from Microsoft. So we started a product Pandeji. So Pandeji was the basic version of Shopify. So we pilot at that time Subhan Bakery, Karachi Bakery. We started that startup in Hyderabad. और अनफॉर्चुनेटली हम वो ज़्यादा स्केल नहीं कर पाए, एंड वी हैव टू शट डाउन. वी बर्न अ लॉट ऑफ मनी. मेरी सारी जितना भी पैसा मैंने आईटी बिजनेस से या ट्रेनिंग से अर्न किया था, इट्स वेंट टू ऑलमोस्ट ज़ीरो. एंड बट आई रियलाइज दैट देयर इज अ बिग स्कोप इन ई कॉमर्स. So we started slowly selling something on Amazon, Flipkart. At that time, Snapdeal was also doing good. And unfortunately, COVID hit, and कहते हैं ना, कोविड में बहुत से लोग जीरो पे भी आ गए, बहुत से लोग बन भी गए. So at that time, I have imported around 1,000 meters from China. So that was a click, और उसमें एक अच्छे profits हुए. And then we scaled to so many other items. Now I'm building my own B2C brand and investing in startups as well, because मेरे को ऐसा लगता है कि कभी ना कभी अगर मेरे को एक right time पे कुछ पैसा मिला होता मार्केट से, so अगर मैं अभी 100 पे हूँ, I will be at least around 1,000 or maybe 10,000. So that's why जो मैं नहीं कर पाया, so maybe इस reason के या कुछ और entrepreneurs जो हैं यहाँ पे, they can. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vishal, for sharing your inspiring story. And our first question with Mr. Vishal Gandhi. The question is, Vishal ji, startups जो आजकल हैं, they are so savvy, so advanced today. Why should these startups be focusing on strategic collaborations or strategic capital instead of just venture capital?
Sure. So I think I've already introduced that the strategic capital is a very important aspect. Today, I don't know how many of you know about that every third startup within 3 years fail. And if you look at the data, 9 out of 10 eventually will fail, right? So what could be the first reason of failing, right? Because maybe they have raised too much of money in the beginning and they have diluted so much that there's no motivation for them to continue. So I think you really need a person in your team who really can provide you all that things which mitigates your all risk, right? Like I think Dr. PJ was talking about that how he got in touch with this lady, and that became a very catalytic point for him to really unlock the value. And in the same way, I think every startup should have one person in their team who has really seen the world from a scale perspective. While you are a startup, but if you have a convergence of scale with you, I think you know the art of scaling up. And if you can scale up with their help, I think you will build an investable business. And so if you have an investable business, there is definitely, a premium for corporate governance. There is a premium for building the right businesses. And that is where, you will succeed. And if you succeed, I'm sure the whole world is there to support you. So I feel that strategic capital is not just the capital. And capital, I think Sahil also spoke about, is not the mode today. There's enough capital in the country. But when it comes with strategy, it comes with network, it comes with the understanding of compliance, when it comes with the understanding of legal, because a lot of startups actually have shut down the shop even after raising money because of some of these nuances which had not been thought through in the earlier stage, which could be like shareholder agreement, right? You've not think through it. The startup, when I look at startup, when I interact with them, they try to create a FOMO impact, right? How many of you are startups, if you can raise the hands as founders, right? So I see very less number of startups, so I'm sure all of us are either investors or enablers. So startups really need to do their homework well. They just cannot look at valuation as valuation. There are times where strategics have given lesser valuation because they believe because of their intervention that company will see the light of the day and have a better valuation. And I think that is what founders should be looking at. The money is coming to the company. Money is not coming to fund the founder's salary, right? So please be careful that what kind of money you are picking up in the market, because there are all kinds of money. But think about somebody who really has an experience to complement you, because some of the times I have seen, at least in tech businesses that we look at, if we look at 100 businesses, we fund only one. And there are times where we like the idea, but we don't fund them because there is no co-founder. I don't know how many businesses you see, but everybody thinks that they are fund ready. But without a co-founder, what a startup journey can be. Very, very difficult. Now, if you don't have a co-founder, but if you have somebody who's mentoring you and who has seen the scale, I think really it makes the journey, which is difficult journey, a smooth journey, so that you continue to attract the right capital at the right valuation with the right strategic. So I think this is where I want to pause now and give opportunity back to Amit. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Vishal. And this is so insightful. जो एक स्ट्रेटेजिक पार्टनरशिप है, वो एक स्मार्ट स्टार्टअप को या फाउंडर को, जिसको ये पता है कि हाउ टू स्केल अप दैट स्टार्टअप, तो ये आज की लर्निंग हमारी विशाल जी से है, तो वो स्ट्रेटेजिक पार्टनरशिप चूज करेगा इंस्टेड ऑफ ट्रेडिशनल वेंचर कैपिटलिस्ट. थैंक यू सो मच विशाल once again. And my next question goes to Mr. Jaswinder. Jaswinder, before investing into a startup, अब क्या ऐसी चीजें हैं, what are the basic things you observe into that startup or the founder of this startup?
जो सबसे पहली चीज़ है जो मैं देखता हूँ, that is a subject matter expert. क्या उस इंडस्ट्री की नॉलेज जो फाउंडर और को फाउंडर जो टीम है उसको एग्जैक्टली है? क्या वो एक्चुअल में उस चीज़ को, मार्केट की जो नीड्स हैं उनको समझते हैं कि डिलीवरी क्या देनी है? लाइक हमें ना चीज़ें ऊपर से देखने में बड़ी आसान लगती हैं कि यार ये आइडिया है, हम इसको करके इसको रेवोल्यूशन भी बनते हैं, बट इन दी एंड जब हम इंडस्ट्री में घुसते जाते हैं तो प्रोडक्ट भी डेवलप हो जाता है रिवर, तब हमें समझ में आता है नहीं, दिस इज नॉट द एक्चुअल प्रॉब्लम। सो प्रॉब्लम की आइडेंटिफिकेशन एक सब्जेक्ट मैटर एक्सपर्ट कर सकता है। सेकंड जो मैं देखता हूँ, क्या एक्चुअली एज ए इन्वेस्टर मैं कहीं पे वैल्यू ऐड कर सकता हूँ, सो दैट मीन्स लाइक स्ट्रेटेजिक अलायंस वर्क मोर फॉर मी। इफ समवन इज डूइंग वेरी गुड इन बिजनेस और उसको लेके मैं वहाँ पे कुछ उनके बिजनेस में या लाइक जहाँ पे मेरी टेक हेल्प कर सकती है, सो वहाँ पे आई थिंक इट विल बी ए गुड आइडिया टू इन्वेस्ट। लाइक डॉक्टर जेपी सिंह है, इनके पास यूज केस भी है, इनको पता है ये की दिक्कत कहाँ पे है, तो अगर यहाँ पे मेरे को मौका मिलता आई विल डू इट हैप्पीली। So this is happen with everyone. So sometimes we need to actually identify the problem कि actual में वो problem है। और एज ए टेक, हालांकि हमें मल्टीपल इंडस्ट्रीज का एक्सपीरियंस है, डाटा भी बड़ा होता है, बट रियल चैलेंज मार्केट में निकलने के बाद ही आते हैं। अगर किसी इन्वेस्टर, एज ए इन्वेस्टर, अगर किसी स्टार्टअप मेरे को वहाँ पे हेल्प करवाने की ज़रूरत पड़ती है तो आई वुड बी हैप्पीली डूइंग इट। तो मेरा ये फर्स्ट प्रेफरेंस रहती है।
थैंक यू जसविंदर। और मेरे ख्याल से ये जो पहला आंसर था डॉक्टर विशाल की ओर से, ये भी सिमिलर ही है काइंड ऑफ। सो सिनर्जीज ऑफ इन्वेस्टर्स या सिनर्जीज ऑफ फाउंडर्स ये पैरेलली फ्लो करती है। द क्रक्स ऑफ द स्टोरी, स्ट्रेटेजिक इन्वेस्टमेंट्स और स्ट्रेटेजिक कैपिटल इज मस्ट। थैंक यू सो मच वंस अगेन। एंड नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन टू मिस्टर विशाल केडिया। विशाल जी, काफी बार हम यहाँ पे सुनते हैं कि कोई भी बिजनेस भी स्टार्ट करते हैं छोटा सा, तो आज की डेट में ये टर्मिनोलॉजी ऐसी चल पड़ी है कि मैं स्टार्टअप हूं, मैं स्टार्टअप हूं। हाउ डू यू डिफरेंशिएट अ स्टार्टअप विद अ बिजनेस?
Sir, very interesting question. So every startup is a part of business always. So let's not go to definitions of something. So I'll explain with the definition. So there is a guy A and B. ठीक है, एक ने क्या किया, एक ग्रोसरी स्टोर खोला और 25 लाख रुपीस का उसके पास कैपिटल था, एंड फ्रॉम द फर्स्ट डे ही इज इन प्रॉफिट। उसने 25 लाख का स्टॉक डाला, वो जो सेल कर रहा है 9 रुपए की चीज़ 11 रुपए में बेच रहा है। और आफ्टर 2 इयर्स उसने एक और ग्रोसरी स्टोर खोल लिया, आफ्टर 3 इयर्स मे बी 5 इयर्स और स्टोर खोल लिया, गुप्ता ग्रोसरी से वो सुपरमार्ट बन गया। दैट्स इट। ऑन द अनदर हैंड, एक फैंसी IIT गाय या आप कह सकते हो कोई भी रैंडम पर्सन, हाँ, उसने सबसे पहले क्या किया, एक प्रॉब्लम आइडेंटिफाई की ग्रोसरी स्टोर की, कि आने वाले टाइम में माइट भी लोग ग्रोसरी स्टोर जाना पसंद नहीं करेंगे। उसके पापा तो जा रहे हैं क्योंकि दे लव टू स्पेंड टाइम विद देयर फैमिली फ्रेंड्स, ठीक है, उन्हें एक टाइम मिल जाता है फैमिली से बाहर जाने का, बट मे बी जो उसकी उम्र के लोग हैं वो जाना पसंद नहीं करेंगे। तो सबसे पहले उसने देखा कि एक ऐप बना दी जाए। एक प्रॉब्लम तो उसने आइडेंटिफाई कर ली कि जा नहीं सकते, बट उसने क्या किया, ऐप बनाई सबसे पहले, उसमें टेक इन्वॉल्व कर लिया और कुछ आप कह सकते हो कि राइडर्स हायर कर लिए, और एक डार्क स्टोर जिसे हम बोलते हैं कि देयर विल बी नो फैंसी रेंट्स, नो फैंसी थिंग्स। उसने डार्क स्टोर से वो डिलीवरी स्टार्ट कर दी। उसने जितनी भी प्रॉब्लम्स थी उसके अराउंड वो सारी सॉल्व की पहले, एंड देन उसने क्या किया, 2 स्टोर किए, 3 स्टोर किए, ठीक है। अब उसकी प्रॉब्लम्स सॉर्टेड थी, उसका टैक्स सॉर्टेड था, एवरीथिंग इज सॉर्टेड, ठीक है। अब उसने क्या किया, उस शहर में वो 3 स्टोर से लेकर सीधा 100 स्टोर्स पे चला गया। 100 स्टोर से वो सीधा पूरी कंट्री में चला गया 1000 स्टोर के साथ, ठीक है। और ये स्टार्टअप कहलाया ब्लिंकिट ग्रोथ, राइट। सो जब आप अपनी रेसिपी में टेक इन्वॉल्व कर लेते हो, एक इनोवेशन इन्वॉल्व कर लेते हो, एंड आपका फर्स्ट डे से फंडा क्लियर है कि आपको स्केल करना है, उसको एक IPO तक लेके जाना है और अच्छी तरह से टेक एनेबल करके उसको चलना है। सो दैट वी कॉल इट एज अ स्टार्टअप।
थैंक यू विशाल जी। सो अगेन कंक्लूजन इज कि जो बिजनेस है दैट बेसिकली फोकसेस अपॉन प्रॉफिट्स ओनली, कि यहां से मुझे प्रॉफिट मिलना है। ऑन द अदर साइड जो स्टार्टअप है दैट प्राइमरीली फोकसेस अपॉन सोल्यूशन, प्रोवाइडिंग सोल्यूशन टू अ प्रॉब्लम। तो जिसका बाय प्रोडक्ट पैसा ही है, प्रॉफिट ही है, लेकिन वो बाय प्रोडक्ट जो प्रॉफिट आता है वो एक्सपोनेंशियल लेवल पे आता है, जो कि बिजनेस में इंक्रीमेंटल लेवल पे रह जाता है। थैंक यू सो मच विशाल जी फॉर आंसरिंग दिस क्वेश्चन। Again, my next question goes to Mr. Dr. Vishal Gandhi. Dr. Vishal, what is the right strategy for a startup to finding a subject matter expert? SME, स्मॉल एंड मीडियम एंटरप्राइज में यहाँ पे सब्जेक्ट मैटर एक्सपर्ट है, तो वो स्ट्रेटेजी क्या होनी चाहिए टू फाइंड अ सब्जेक्ट मैटर एक्सपर्ट?
Sure, I think you will get the right people only when you network, and I think in management we are taught network is your net worth. And how do you build your equity value? One of the reasons that why startup actually is born, to build the equity value, because you are solving a problem, you will have cash, and that cash will translate into equity value. So I think network and network and network. To me, that's the only way to find the most appropriate people. Because today, when you are at a seed stage, you need somebody to work on the IT side. So your mentoring would be around IT. But when you go to the next level, which could be a Series A level, now it's about business, right? And I have seen most of the startups typically, you just show them a business and they definitely want to execute that business because they don't have that network which perhaps an mentor would have, and how to leverage that network to be able to catalyze the growth of a startup is something which I find it very, very interesting. So we invest into companies or incubate companies only where we think that they can leverage on our network to be able to get 10x. So I don't want the only founder to do 10x for us, that we become a passive investors. We are very, very active investors. We typically like to talk to the founders. We do a lot of due diligence work, and because we do due diligence, we know what are the gap areas. And I think Dr. PJ also talked about that. In the shareholder agreement, there were certain things that he may not have liked, or perhaps he would have been more happy saying that good, kuch mera portion or kithe aur chala gaya, right? But I think that is unlocking. So when you involve many people in your journey, but those people should have a skin in the game, and if those people who have a skin in the game will essentially truly will become the mentors, and I think you will need many mentors, not just one, and that is a very stage specific situation, right? Some startups have everything, they've cracked everything, but they don't have the GTM, and if they don't have the GTM, what will you do with the product? Fantastic products have not seen the light of the day, right? But average product have actually been able to scale, right? And I think Vishal Kedia did mention about it. So I think it's about, solving some problems at some point, which really requires you to have a deep thinking and the right person who has a skin in the game to really work with you, advise with you, and work with you as a partner, as a co-founder. He may not be your co-founder, he may not be interested in taking that kind of stake, but somebody who has a characteristic to really help you get to the right problem, right? So I think this is where I want to pause now.
So true, so true. So due diligence while selecting a startup or an investor, this is must. और इसके लिए हमारे पास एक्सपर्ट्स जैसे साहिल जी यहाँ पे हैं, ऐसे एक्सपर्ट्स मौजूद हैं यहाँ पे, तो जिनसे हम ड्यू डिलिजेंस करवा सकते हैं. थैंक यू सो मच अगेन विशाल जी. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन अगेन फॉर जसविंदर जी. तो जसविंदर जी, एक किसी भी कोई भी स्टार्टअप से डील करना हो तो सबसे पहली चीज की फैक्टर जिसको हम बोलते हैं दैट इज ऑलवेज नेगोशिएशंस. को हम सब्जी लेने भी जाते हैं ना मार्केट में, जो इंडियन स्टाइल है, वो कहते हैं भाई भाव क्या है, कितना लेगा क्या. तो ये सेम स्ट्रेटजी स्टार्टअप्स में भी चलती है. हाउ डू यू नेगोशिएट विद द स्टार्टअप्स व्हाइल इन्वेस्टिंग?
तो सबको खर्चना कम होता है, चाहिए ज्यादा होता है. सो दैट इज दी प्राइमरी रहता, बट इसमें ऐसा भी नहीं होता कि डील हैज टू बी वेरी फेयर. तो ऐसा नहीं होता कि लाइक अब सारा कुछ आपकी पॉकेट में आना चाहिए. तो जो मुझे लगता है नेगोशिएशन में बहुत ही क्रूशियल रोल अप्लाई करती हैं. सो इसी से हमें एक्चुअल वैल्यूएशन पता चलती है. जब वो करते हैं तो इससे पता चलता है जिस बंदे से हम डील कर रहे हैं क्या एक्चुअली में वो डिस्ट्रेस में डील कर रहा है, या लाइक एक्चुअल में वो फंड को कहाँ पे यूज़ करना चाहता है. तो नेगोशिएशन में ये चीज़ें समझ में भी आती हैं. तो मल्टीपल फैक्टर्स हैं, जैसे ड्यू डिलिजेंस से वो चेक किया. जैसे भी हम नेटवर्क में जाते हैं कहीं पे भी, तो इवन हर नेटवर्क का कहीं ना कहीं उनका अपना सिस्टम होता है. तो ड्यू डिलिजेंस इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, वहीं से चीज़ें समझ में आती हैं। लाइक हमें हमेशा लगता है कि इसकी वैल्यू कम है एज ए इन्वेस्टर, बट जो एज ए स्टार्टअप है जिसको फंड चाहिए उसको लगता है इसकी वैल्यू काफ़ी ज़्यादा है। तो वैल्यूएशन इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्टर, और ये डाटा से ही सामने आता है कि एक्चुअल में कितनी मार्केट नीड है, कितनी वैल्यूएशन है, और क्या स्केलेबिलिटी के चांसेस कितने ज़्यादा हैं, और उसका कंपटीशन किसके साथ है। तो क्या हम एक्चुअल में उस कंपटीशन को मीट कम कर सकते हैं कम फंड्स के साथ। सीरीज़ 1 में हम कहाँ तक ले जा सकते हैं, 2 में कहाँ पे ले जा सकते हैं। सो सच काइंड ऑफ फैक्टर्स इम्पॉर्टेंट रहते हैं इस चीज़ के लिए कि वैल्यूएशन, जैसे किस चीज़ की वैल्यू निकलती है तो उसी से पता चलता है कि एक्चुअल में ज़रूरत क्या है और कैसे।
The moment you observe your startup diligently, तो आपको पता चल जाता है कि इसका भाव क्या होना चाहिए, किस तरह से इसके साथ नेगोशिएट कर रहा है। तो आप 10 रुपए की चीज को 1 रुपए का भी बोल सकते हो ऐसे में। थैंक यू सो मच जसविंदर जी। माय लास्ट क्वेश्चन once again goes to Mr. Vishal Gandhi. What can entrepreneurs do work and succeed better in fundraising? ये सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट क्वेश्चन है वैसे डॉक्टर विशाल।
Yeah, actually, this could be like 10 PhDs and still not be able to answer, right? But I feel that the pitch, most of us do not really work on the pitch. Most of us do not validate our idea. In even today's presentation, so much happened. But sometimes, the flow of the presentation is that everything is done, but then we get to know how large is the market. Now, how large is the market is the first thing we should be knowing, because if we do not know how large is the market, I think the story connecting becomes very difficult, right? So, if I see a pitch and I want to take a call, I think for me 2 minutes is good enough to take a call, whether I want to spend time or not, right? And the story connection is very, very important. And sometimes founders are too technical founders, right? And to be fair, it's fine. But really, get somebody to do this professional work for you. Because investors see 50 pitches in a week. They don't have patience, right? If they want to invest in you, they will like to see the entire story intact, including all the DD points, right? Which could be around financial, secretarial, legal, commercial, forensic. You think about everything, we would like to see everything there, which is like really done by the right people. And team slide should only be talking about team, right? Why should not be advisory board, right? Because advisory board is very crucial part. So at least somebody is vetting all this with you, right? So at least have that also aspect clearly mentioned. Then the shareholding. Now I come across so many founders, who say my co-founder owns 2% and I own 98%. Now this is not the way startup will succeed. This is not the way startup negotiations happen, right? Just to have a co-founder with 2% because investor wants you, it is not going to succeed. It's definitely not going to succeed, because one day founder will realize that he is building value for the other founder, not for himself. And this is going to be another thing is that valuation. सर जितना दे दो उतना ले लेंगे, हमें तो पता नहीं end use of the funds क्या है, and every business thinks they are fund ready. I think it's important for all of you, to understand that how to really meet the expectation of an investor, because that 2 minutes is very, very crucial. Practice at home, work with a lot of people who have raised money, talk to them, network with people like, there are so many events Punjab Angel Network does. Tai is doing a fantastic job. I'm a charter member there, and I am very happy to see my ex-colleague from FICCI also. Even FICCI, being such a mature chamber, is also trying to work to support the startup ecosystem, is also very, very significant role, because the future of tomorrow economy is the digital, and it's also startup. So I think applaud to FICCI, and I think Sahil is so proactive in partnering with FICCI, which is so amazing, So I can continue, but I think I'd like to pause now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vishal.